This video is brought to you by the Deck of Mini and their Big Bad Booklet series, and by the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast and their Agents of Edgewatch adventure. Hello and welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. Today we have the fourth wave of premium painted figures for D&D from WizKids. Many thanks to them for sending us these to review with you. They're sold individually and have the best paint job WizKids offers. Each figure has an MSRP of $7.99. If you have new players looking for inspiration for their first characters, our premium figure videos may be a good resource for them. If they find a figure that sparks some character ideas for them, they can just pick up that mini and be ready to go. These figures should be hitting store shelves in November 2020. Without further ado, let's see what we have in Wave 4. We're starting off with a relatively generic human cleric, standing proud and tall with immaculate armor. These sets always contain a few figures that fit archetypes, and then a few that will really stand out from the crowd. This one very much falls in that former category. It's a beautiful mini though, and will work well if you're playing a more traditional fighter, cleric, or paladin. Huzzah to this heavily armored Dwarf Paladin with their translucent blue sword and metallic shield. There are a few small symbols on their belt and cape, but nothing that strikes me as religious iconography if you'd prefer to use this mini as a fighter or other heavily armored character. I like the traditional dwarven single-armed warhammer on their side as well. The first thing that strikes me about this mini is her Cruella de Vil black and white hair. That combined with her turquoise clothing and mace give her a very specific look if you're trying to make a character that really stands out. This mini looks like one that could inspire a very interesting background story for a player. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think the story behind this mini is. I'm really curious to hear what you all come up with. Our Dragonborn Sorcerer is nicely thematic. It's based on the main artwork for the Dragonborn race in the player's handbook. This would be an excellent mini choice, especially if you're playing a sorcerer with a draconic bloodline with either a brass, gold, or red dragon ancestor, as their element is fire. I like the details on this one as well, with the dragon-shaped scepter and the taloned feet. And of course, this mini could be a wizard or warlock as well. The human ranger figure here is another one that falls into that traditional archetype category. They have the Legolas hair and the bow and arrow. One of those little details that I always check these days for archer minis is if it includes a bow with a bowstring and an arrow and a quiver. And this one includes all of those. A very solid mini for a ranged human or elven character. This mini is labeled as a full orc, but definitely looks more like a half-orc to me. She seems like a half-orc who has found a measure of respect or success as she's wearing immaculate armor with an extremely fine and detailed war axe. She looks like a knight of the realm. Having a half-orc knight fighter who has managed to come to lead a king or duke's royal guard seems like a really interesting character hook to me. I really dig this simple androgynous half-elf bard mini as well. They're strumming along on their lute and wearing a nice but simple coat. It looks like it might even be fur-lined if you want to use this mini in an Icewind Dale adventure. It's listed as a half-elf, but you could certainly use this one as a human or a full elf instead. Just a great bard mini. The most interesting thing about this Warlock mini is that he appears to be holding the Wand of Orcus, an artifact-level magical item that's actually carried and used by the Demon Lord Orcus himself. The Wand of Orcus is detailed in the Dungeon Master's Guide and appears in the Out of the Abyss adventure. A character likely wouldn't be able to get their hands on it without prying it out of a dead Orcus's hands. We are getting an Orcus mini in January 2021, and as you can see, he still has control of his wand there. So don't tell him this warlock stole it, or fabricated a new one maybe. This is my favorite mini in the set, as we so rarely get minis that seem to draw inspiration from non-European societies. This figure appears to have a more Arabian flair to it. He carries a wooden staff, but could easily be used for any class really. Though of course a Circle of the Land Druid with a connection to the desert would be a perfect match for this mini. I hope we get more figures like this in the future. Maybe it's just me, but this really feels like an Eberron character to me. It's got a very steampunk look with the leather vest over the white shirt and the pilot's goggles propped up on his forehead. This is definitely a sky coach or airship captain. If this character was in a Final Fantasy game, his name would definitely be Sid. Makes me really want to see more Eberron-inspired PC minis. This set has a nice variety of figures, and everything that's included has a fantastic paint job. We have enough premium D&D figures now that you should be able to find something to meet your needs, unless you're playing as one of the more minor races, or you want a mini that's very specific, like a Furbolg Alchemist or a Air Genasi Barbarian. I would certainly love to see more unique combinations like that going forward, now that many of the base races are decently represented. Aside from the Orc, this set didn't really include any of those more minor races, so I'm always curious to see what's next for the premium line. Luckily, we just received the announcement for Wave 5, which is scheduled to come out in February 2021. This set includes a male human wizard, a male elf druid, a male elf fighter, a male gnome wizard, and take a look at him, a male dwarf fighter, a female halfling fighter, a female human ranger, a female human wizard, a female barbarian Goliath, and a female human rogue. So certainly some cool choices, but nothing too far left field. Looks like we do get another potential Eberron figure in there though, and really I just love that gnome wizard so much. We also just received the next wave of unpainted Nolzur's figures, and there's some really interesting sculpts in there too. I'll be working on our video of those here over the weekend, over next week. For now though, these minis here, again, are sold individually for an MSRP of $7.99, and they should be available in November 2020. Let me know which one of these is your favorite in the comment section down below. Mine is certainly that male human druid here. Many thanks again to WizKids for sending us these minis to review with you. We also want to thank our sponsors for this video. First, we have the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast and their Agents of Edgewatch adventure, officially licensed by Paizo. I'm actually an episode behind now because I'm also behind in my household chores, and that's my best podcast listening time. So don't spoil anything for me in the comment section down below, please. This podcast follows the story of a new batch of City Watch agents in the great city of Absalom as they're tasked with keeping the peace during the World's Fair known as the Radiant Festival. Is definitely a unique premise and story, and they present some great innovations to facilitate an adventure that features a lawful good party. Check it out today at rollforcombat.com. We also want to thank the Deck of Many and their Big Bad Booklet series. It's the end of the month, which means I'm about to find out what the next Big Bad Booklet is, which is always just kind of makes me feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. The Big Bad Booklet is a monthly zine by the Deck of Many that features a new Big Bad each month with everything you need to run a fun adventure or story with your group. This can be a side quest for your ongoing campaign or a one-shot with your closest friends or family or your quarantine pod. This month, come meet Gix, a giant vulture who collects the bones of legendary heroes. Will your bones end up in his sprawling ossuary? And I definitely want to hear from you if you've incorporated the word ossuary into your adventures this month. Subscribe today at bigbadbooklet.com. And thank you for watching today. I'm always going to try to give you a little bit of the latest scoop at the end of our video to try to thank you for just watching all the way to the end here. Over the next 2 months or so, Grady and I will be moving back to Texas for work purposes, and I plan to start working full-time on the Gallant Goblin. We're going to be doing more live content on Twitch, in addition to all the reviews you're used to seeing from us here. I have some ideas of Twitch videos and exclusive Patreon content and other projects that I really want to work on, but if you have some ideas, I'd love to hear about them from you in the comment section down below. And as always, your likes and subscriptions and your notification alerts always are very much appreciated by us. We're already doing more live content on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, including our live unboxing on Wednesday of the new Beetle and Grimm's Platinum Edition of Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. So go check out our Facebook page for that. We also have our full review of that in the next week or so here. For now, stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.